This is just a basic introduction to the file system and understanding the folders in a Linux environment. I happen to be running Manjaro 16.08, and it uses the Thunar file system. And if I click on my file manager, you can see I have two panels open, one on the left and one on the right. My username happens to be Guilford, and this would be the default view I get when I open up the file manager. On the left, I have a panel, and I can change the appearance of the panel by going to side pane and shortcuts in tree. So if I go to a tree environment, I get a slightly different panel. This happens to be my Windows 10 hard drive. This is a dual boot machine. And you have to be careful with Windows 10 and Windows 8 in that you might not always be able to access that volume, because it has a function called fast boot, and that's somewhere in the power, one of the power folder or applications in Windows 8 and 10 that you can select fast boot on or off. But what happens when you shut down Windows 10 or 8? The hard drive doesn't go all the way shut down, and when that happens, you can only access that particular volume in a read-only environment. And you actually have to go through a couple of extra steps to access it. You can't just click on it. So if you want to access your Windows 10 or Windows 8 hard drive in a Linux environment, you need to make sure you shut down appropriately. And either turn fast boot off, or you can hold, I believe, the shift key down as you hit the power off button and turn Windows off that way, or you can click restart and then log into your Linux operating system and shut down from there, as restart avoids the fast boot process. So that's kind of painful, to tell you the truth. I liked Windows 7 much more. So that would be my Windows 10 drive. CD drive. File system is my Manjaro system. And really the new user really has almost no reason to go in here except for to access the home folder. And you can access the home folder a lot easier just by hitting on your username. So I can change and go back to shortcuts. I like shortcuts. If I had a USB device in, it would show up here under devices too. If I click on this little up arrow, it will let me safely eject that item. When you initially install Manjaro, or really any Linux system, it'll set up some folders for you automatically. And the folders it sets up automatically are desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, public, templates, and video. And those are convenient places for you to store all your work. Now, out of all those, they're pretty self-explanatory except for templates. And templates is a place for you to save files that will become templates that you can open up in other folders. For example, I have two files here saved under templates, a classic letter and an empty spreadsheet. And I can say go into my documents folder, and I can right click here, and instead of creating a folder, I could actually create a document, and that shows up almost everywhere. So I could create a document on my desktop, or I can create a document here. When I create a document, I'm automatically loading that template. So if I create a classic letter here, it prompts me to create a new save. I create that, and I've got a new file right there that I can click on, and it opens right up into the program that I saved it from. And this just happens to be a basic letter format, and I haven't done anything to change it, but it could have my address here, a more recent date, and then I would just simply enter the information that I wanted to save. So that's a kind of a powerful program and neat feature. A lot of people don't use it. I like templates. You can create a template, for example, for almost anything, like an HTML document, spreadsheets, databases, letters, brochures, mail labels, envelopes, even paint format. So here's a basic paint program I like. I could create a blank page And instead of saving it in the documents, I have it currently set. I could save it to templates and save as a PNG and just say blank paint. Save. And now whenever I wanted to create a new paint document, it would show up here as blank paint. And I could name it, create it, and there I have one. So that's just kind of touching the tip of the iceberg on the power of templates. I really like them. Public would be files and folders you'd share across a network system or across different users. So that's pretty easy to understand. Now I've added a couple. I've added Diablo 2. I've added GOG Games. That's the folder that's created when you automatically install for the first time a GOG Games program. And then all your GOG games are installed under there. So that's quite nice. Music Notebooks is from Zim. And that's my notes program that I like to use. And right here I created OpenSUSE and I haven't entered anything into there yet. But I have just all my different notebooks stored there. And it makes it easy to Dropbox, save it to the cloud, and then access it across different platforms for my laptop, for example. So that's pretty nifty. So that's just a basic look at the file manager for Manjaro, really for any Linux system. One of the things in the Thunar system is it's difficult to search, and they automatically install Catfish as the search engine. So actually I'm not searching using Thunar to search, I'm actually using another program called Catfish to do my searches. And I can customize that as I want. But I like the Thunar system. It's fast, it's quick, it's easily, I think, understood. It has lots of commands. The commands it does miss, I can add an additional program to replace it. And it's easy to understand exactly what you're using. And like I said before, there's almost no reason for you to go into the file system and access those files. The other area you can look at is you can toggle on and off your hidden files very easily graphically through there or through Control H. And you can see you have a lot of dot files. And about the only time I ever have to access these is in Play on Linux. You can go in here and access your startups or your shortcuts. And then I can edit my shortcuts. But that's getting kind of advanced. So for the new user, really stick to the home folder file system. You don't really need to see your hidden files, and you really need to only back up those file folders to keep your system intact. Thanks for watching.